Now I have launched Visual Studio and I would like to create a new project, and let us call this project as branching branching examples. And let me rename this first form as a ternary operator. I'm right clicking on this form and then choosing from rename, and then I would like to have it as a ternary operator. Ternary operator, yes. And as we saw in the example, we will place two labels, two text boxes and a button. Two labels, two text boxes and a button we will add, and we will customize as we saw in the here. I'm going to give the name as we saw in the previous slide. First one is we will set the text for the label as enter a number, and the second label reads as the number is, and the text box is given a name as number text box, and the second text box is given a name as result text box. Okay, results text box, results text box. Button is given a name as check button, and button text is check. Form reads as ternary operator, ternary operator, MIT 22033. Minimize box no, maximize box no. Let us make it small and compact, and let me go to view and choose tab border and set the tab border for tab stop for this is false, and let me run this project to see how it is going to appear. So okay, let's add the functionality. I'm double clicking on this check button, and then I'm going to declare a variable int number, and this number is going to be taken from the number text box. Then comes result text box results equals, this is where we are going to apply these ternary operator, number greater than or equal to, not greater than equal to, not greater than 100. If it is greater than 100, we will say greater than 100, and if it is not, and if the result is false, we will say less than or equal to 100. Now we will run the project and see how it is going to work. Let us give 100, and it says less than or equal to 100. If we change it as 101, it goes greater than 100. This is how the ternary operator works. We do the comparison first, and then we give the results what is if true, and then we give the results what if false. It is separated by a question mark, and then alternative is given by giving a colon, not a semicolon. It is a colon. You can see here it is not a semicolon, it is a colon. So we will next see how we can work with the if clause. Until then, thank you so much. Here I will add two buttons and two text boxes and two labels. So let me configure the properties and lay it out. First label is enter sales amount. The second label is bonus. Text box we will lay it out. First text box is sales text box. The other text box is bonus text box. Button we will call it as process button. The other one is exit button. We will set the text property of the button, and this is a process. Then we will configure the properties for the form. Form text property is bonus calculator or MIT 22033. Max property, max button box is false and minimize is false. Let's go to configure the tab border, and we will stop the tab for the bonus text box. Let us run this. Now we can see the design part is fine. We will give the functionality to the button. So here we are going to have if clause. Let me declare a variable double sales equal double dot parse sales text box dot text and double bonus equal 0.0. We have declared the variable and we will test the values entered in the text box. If clause, if I'm typing in if and then I'm going to press my tab key twice quicker so that the code snippet is added. We're going to compare the sales value, whether sales value is greater than or equal to 50,000. If it is greater than 50,000, we are going to assign a bonus value of 500. Note here that we are not going to have any alternatives for other values than 50,000. If the sales amount entered is less than 50,000, what to do is not given here. We will see that in the another video. Bonus text box dot text equal bonus dot toString. Let's call it as currency, and we will also change the sales text box dot value as well. Text equal sales toString currency. Let's run this project, and I'm going to enter 40,000. Nothing happens. If I make it 55,000, here you see it is 500 because if I enter less than 50,000, you can see the amount in the bonus is 0.0 because it is formatted for currency. That's why it is displaying like that. So we will see how we can extend this by having if else clause. We will continue to see this now. If else statement provides us a facility to take a alternative course of action, because if the condition is not fulfilled by clause, what to do next is shown by the else clause. So else clause can be written in if else clause, this can be written in two methods, like we saw in the previous video, previous section on simple if. That is if and without curly brace, and else without curly brace, which means the only the one statement following the if clause, and the very next statement, only one statement following the else clause will be executed if it is not governed by blocked by these curly braces. So in a sense, if you have more statements here, they won't be executed based on this else clause or if clause. So if you want to have more than one statement to be executed governed by if clause or else clause, you have to enclose them within curly brace. That is the requirement. We will see how we can extend these bonus example to learn the usage of if else statement. Here you see the alternative course of action is taken as if the sales amount is greater than or equal to 50,000, we are going to give 500 as the bonus amount, and otherwise we are going to give only 200 as bonus amount. It is reflected in the uh, flowchart as well. We will implement this by extending our code we already have in our example. Here I'm going to extend this code by having an if else clause. Else, again I'm pressing my tab key twice, else bonus equal 200. Let's run this project to see how it works. If I enter 50,000, it becomes as 500. If I enter 45,000, it is going to be 200. So it works fine. We can still extend this by having if else clause, rather than having this program running with the same example. We will see if it is possible to have another example for to learn if else clause. So let us open notepad to see an application. We are going to have an application written for calculating the grades for marks range. Say for example, in a visual basic subject, we have exam marks ranging from 0 to 100, and we will have a range, sample range. If the student earns 0 to 40, let's give let's give F. 41 to 60 we will give C, and 61 to 70 we will give B, and 71 to 100 let us give A. So this is a unique marking system we would like to implement to learn if else if later. So we will see how this is going to be working for us. Let's open our example and see the structure. So here I have open another syntax structure, that is if else if later. So if we test the first expression, and the course of activities are taken here, and we can compare another expression, and the statements are following here. Again we can add another expression, and statements could follow here, and it can go as long as you need, and finally we will have else clause at last. So we will implement our notepad example, this example, the exam marks example, for our learning the if else if structure. So 70 greater than 70 and less than 100, less than or equal to 100 A, and we will restructure this to implement in the program easily. We will copy it. Now I have come to this Visual Studio. Let me add another form by right clicking and choosing Windows form. if else if structure we are going to learn now. So here I would like to have a button to process and exit button, and label to enter marks, and label to display the grade, to instruct the grade. So two text boxes we are going to have. First label we can call it enter marks earned. Okay, and corresponding grade. So this is what we are going to calculate. Fine. And we will have marks text box, and this is going to be a grade text box. Let me expand this. We will call it as a process button, and this is going to be a exit button. Let us set the text for these buttons: exit and process. Grade calculator we can call it for the form. Grade finder, yeah, grade finder is a better name. Minimize box, maximize box, switched off. And let us set the tab order. I'm toggling off the tab order. Grade button, we are not going to have this tab stop, so false. We will copy these. Yes, already we have cut this, so we will copy it to so as a guide we would like to have it. We are going to have if clause first, and we will declare the variable earlier. Double marks equal double dot parse marks text box dot text. Now we will compare the marks. If marks greater than 70, we will string grade equal grade equal A. Second one is else. Again, if marks greater than 60, grade equal B. Again we will test else if marks greater than 40, grade equal C. Otherwise, which means else, grade equals F. Now we are going to display the grade into the text box. Grade text box dot text equal grade. Let's modify this program.cs file to reflect if else if structure. Save all, close and run. Let me enter 80 A, 70 B, 60 C, less than 60 will be F, less than 60, yeah, less than 60, no correction, less than 40 F. Yep, exactly. The program works fine. This is the structure of if else if structure implementation, syntax implementation. And again we can see how we can have a nested if Nested if means an if statement within another if statement. So what we can do is we can have this implemented in the same example that we have right now. So for this purpose, what we can do is we can check whether the marks entered is within the range, like above or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 100, so that the marks is within range. Otherwise, if somebody enters marks greater than 100 or less than 0, we can say or display a message: the marks we have entered is not within the range, try marks within the range. So this can be implemented using nested if. So let me start this. If marks greater than or equal to 0 to n sign, this combines two conditions: marks less than or equal to 100. So it ensures the marks entered is 0 or less than 100, equal to 100. It is within the range. Then if it is so, we can have this code implemented here. Otherwise, else we can display a message using a message box. Message box show, please enter marks within 0 to 100 and out of range. This is the title of the message box. Comma, we will have a message box button, OK button, and message box icon, error icon, right? So here you can see we are going to test if it is within range, and if it is within range, the following code will be executed. Otherwise, the message will be displayed. If the person enters within 100 and 0, the code within this if clause will be executed. If he enters marks outside the range, the following line of code should be executed. This is our plan. We will check how it is going to work. So before that, we will have this one included within this, okay, so that it is governed by the if clause, main if clause. Start the project, enter marks 80, process done. We will delete this, and 120. Yes, it shows please enter marks within the range of 0 to 100. This is how the nested if works. So please practice this example, and we will see in another video how to work with the checkboxes and radio buttons. We will see more in another video. Until then, thank you so much for watching this.